Well, if it's Tuesday, and it is, and we're still screwing around with the Saltair collectibles.
So much.
Last week we looked at some of the collectibles off the railroad, paper collectibles, timetables, letterheads, tickets,
things of that nature.
Things of that nature. This week we're looking at stuff from the actual amusement park. A little bit tattered because some of this stuff is very, very, very old.
Oh, I would imagine.
This is a bill that they presented to supply power for a construction project, 60 kilowatt hours for $7.45, and 22 rolls of reinforcement for this construction project to a total of $73.45.
Right, and it looks like it's dated 1916.
1916.
Wow.
Yeah, so they were doing some remodeling out there and provided the power for that and billed them for supplies and electricity. This is just a UP bulletin, but it talks about that. This is one of the most unusual pieces in the whole collection. It isn't signed, so it must have been a first draft. But this is the bill of sale to sell the entire resort to the Salt Lake Garfield and Western Railroad. So the Saltair Beach Company, a corporation, is selling all of the for $200,000, which was a chunk of money back then.
Yeah, it would have been.
1917, and they sold the resort with the outstanding mortgage to Zion. That was the actual equity, and they were selling it to the railroad. There was some playing back and forth back then because all of that stuff was owned by the Mormon Church.
Right.
But they'd move it from place to place to place to place, and for a brief period, they even sold the entire resort to the Quorum of the 12.
Oh, really? Oh.
Who held it jointly because the church had been deemed an illegal religion by the federal government, and they were going to seize all of their lands and assets.
Oh, my goodness.
And to protect them, they put the resort into the name of all 12 of the of the Council of the 12.
Okay.
Just to protect the land so the government couldn't seize it. So they did a lot of moving around, and that's one of the bits of moving around that they did. This is fun because it actually shows you what rides they had. This is the daily report for the pavilion from the first decade of the 1900s. It was never filled in, so there is no date. But somewhere between 1900 and 1909.
Right.
Because it
has 3 digits.
It has the 3-digit date. But we can see what they were reporting on a daily basis for profitability. Tickets at the gate, swimming suits rented, hats sold, caps, ladies' hose, the restaurant. People would come out there and change clothes and everything, and I guess they might have to buy
some new hose.
But swimming caps.
Well, that I can see.
And you get out there and you're going to get sunburned, so selling people hats so they don't get sunburned. Sure. The lunch counter, the restaurant, the bar. The restaurant was huge,
right?
And shaped like and when we were out there, and this was on Sunday Show a few weeks ago, just thousands of pieces of smashed china.
Yeah, that just
from this huge restaurant.
Right.
When the place burned and they bulldozed and buried everything, and it just smashed all the china. But there's just thousands of pieces of broken china,
right,
embedded in the center. Anyway, that's the restaurant. The bar. People say, well, if it was owned by the Mormon Church, did they really have a bar? Well, the Mormons weren't thought against drinking back then.
Not back then.
Not back then.
Didn't have their word of wisdom or something.
No, they had a bar, and they sold alcohol out there, and people got good and schnocked while they were visiting the pavilion, and it wasn't the same kind of thing that it is today in the eyes of the Mormon Church. The soda fountain. Bottled stand.
The bottled stand.
The bottled stand. Sodas? I guess.
Well, we found some
I
Coke
don't
bottles,
know.
broken bottles of
Because
Coke.
normally you'd go to the soda fountain and just get a soda.
Right.
But there's thousands of shards of Coca-Cola, actual Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it's really old. It's really thick.
Really
Yeah.
old
You don't dare
Coca-Cola
remove it because
bottles.
it's an
It's an archaeological site. No,
you wouldn't dare.
No.
Right.
But everywhere you look, there's broken Coca-Cola
Which
bottles.
upsets me. It's like, I wonder if there's any whole ones, you
But
know?
the Mormon Church owned the local Coca-Cola
They did. Now
bottling
that
plant.
I know, right.
And so
Yeah.
they sold, anyway, that and the bottled stand.
The bottled stand.
The candy, popcorn, skating rink, arcade, the Utah Amusement Company. So I think they were partnered with somebody that did an arcade.
Something like
And
that.
they probably had penny arcade machines of some
Probably.
kind out there. Those things date way back.
Right.
We saw so many at San
San
Filippo's
Filippo,
collection.
right.
Collects those things. Ping pong.
Interesting.
So you could rent a ping pong table, I guess. The tea house, the bowling alleys, the shooting gallery, the merry-go-round, the curio, photographs. So they'd take your photograph, of course.
Neat.
The check stand, the bicycle track. They had the huge indoor
Right.
wooden bicycle
I
track.
remember hearing
And if they
about
weren't
that.
using it for racing, then you could
Go ride your bike around
rent
it.
a bike
Yeah.
and ride around. Yeah. And the theater. And then they'd total up the receipts for the day, and this was the
profit.
the reporting for that.
Oh, man.
A lot of what I have are photographs. I've saved photographs and whatnot.
That is
and
so cool.
collected photographs from over the years. Just so many different,
Amazing.
interesting, fascinating photographs. But it's kind of fun to get those receipts like that because it'll kind of show you what rides and what attractions were running. Here we have a release of all claims for the Salt Lake and Los Angeles Railway Company. I'm not sure if that was for injuries or just what, but
Right.
it was never used, a receipt of all claims. One of the interesting things, and this is an accident report for the Salt Lake, if anybody was injured. This is a little dog-eared
accident report.
and never used. I have seen one of these where it shows the roller coaster. The original roller coaster was provided by a company, and they called their brand of roller coaster a scenic railway.
A scenic railway.
A scenic railway, and the very first rickety pile of junk roller coaster that was the scenic railway.
What a trestle.
Well, anyway, this is just my collection of
Memorabilia.
memorabilia,
Oh, man.
paperwork, memorabilia left over
That's
from
really cool.
from the Saltair amusement parks,
It's astounding.
going all the way back to the 1800s.
Wow.
So, just fascinating.
Fascinating it is.
Well, if you haven't been over to the channel, pop on over to the channel, and if you're not a subscriber, here comes the blue button. Are we ready for it? Zonk! Blue button right there. Well, we're not sure how you found this movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring, and we will see you here on Sunday.
Right.
With some significant screwing around. We'll see you then.
ya. Bye.
Bye-bye.